Are you YouTube fans out there? Now, I remember doing the long club films. That was wonderful, but I've never done this one. Remember when I was talking about the video nasties? This, believe it or not, was wonderful. As you know, it was banned since from 1980. It was banned since 1983, and it was in the video nasty era. This one is actually the stoned uncut version. I did get this from a different site because the DVD was uncut what I originally had, but the widescreen wasn't a proper widescreen format. It's like a 4K compressed, look like shit. This one, however, has been remastered, uncut, and in proper widescreen, and I love it. That being Shogun Assassin. Say that again. Shogun Assassin. You could say this is like two of the long club films combined together and made into one film. And you could say it's also more of a prequel, I should say. Yeah, it's more of a prequel to the other long club films. And if you're wondering why the little boy looks about the same age as what he was in 1972 to 74 when the films went on, it was because these were filmed in 72, 74 and so on. It was combined from 1980, made into a feature film, but the reason right was a video nasty was because it was ultra fire. It was noted to have a lot of weapons, and at that time, near the 80s, a lot of the companies was a bit whingy and whiny over weapons and knives and swords and all that, even though the rest of the films did. But I've got to admit, this being a stunned uncut version, you can definitely see why it was a video nasty. It is ultra bloodthirsty, ultra firing, ultra gruesome. Now let's get to the film. You start off the little boy here, the little kid, doing the story, and you hear voiceovers. I always like that. I always like that when they do voiceovers. It goes over the dialogue, and you get the voiceovers, and you've got him showing in the olden times, and he's telling the story of when he was born, and you get the idea some ninjas are about to assassinate his dad, that being Long Wolf, but by accident they kill the mum. You don't see the mum get killed, but she dies in Wolf's hands, that being Long Wolf. She dies in his arms, and he's got to raise the kid himself. Not about Father of the Day. He takes his kid in a wheelbarrow, man-made, with weapons, swords, the lot, and goes on a killing spree. This guy tries to kill him in the opening, rams a sword through him, cuts his head in half, blood spurting out the lot, and that's when you get these words here, flying out. And I love it. What a way to open your film. What a bloody way to open your film. And I love it. It's ultra bloody, ultra bloodthirsty, ultra firing. You do get the little lad all the way through telling the story about his dad being Long Wolf and how he got to be how he is. There's only one bit of issue with. There's a scene in it, right, where he's got a ball and he's got a sword and he's going his kid. This is when his kid's a little toddler, by the way. And he's told his kid, if you pick the ball, I'll kill you. But if you pick this and you go with your mum, in other words, if you pick the sword, it means you can be with me. And I'm thinking, this is a kid, mate. This is a freaking toddler. It's not a man my age. This is a freaking toddler. So what the toddler, like most toddlers, think, oh, that ball looks nice. I think I'll play with that ball. Does that mean you're going to be your freaking kid? But lucky enough, the kid trusts the sword, hopefully not the sharp bit. There you go. Now he follows his daddy wherever he goes when he goes on a killing spree. And there's a good bit in it where he meets these people who want him to go on a mission. But before then, you've got the Shogun, because Long Wolf, if you ever watched the Long Club films, used to be an assassin for the Shogun, but the Shogun turned on him out of fear. And all the way through the film, he's sending different sons out to kill our mate, that being Long Wolf, that's being my mate here. But all the way through, he kills them, they get beheaded, they get sliced, blood straighting out everywhere. Oh, it's beautiful, just beautiful. And it's really ultra bloodthirsty, it's definitely fire. But yeah, you get these other people that meet him on the way and they send him on a mission. And I love the scene in it. They say, well, what can you do? The Long Wolf. And Long Wolf gets his sword, throws it in the air. You get a camera shot of the sword just flying out in the air. It's hard to explain this to show you the film, but you know, I don't want to get in trouble for copyright, but if you see it, it is brilliant. The sword, it's hard to explain, goes flying out. It's this piece of wood, and you slowly see the sword going down. And when it's cutting, you see blood skirting across the wall. And it just cuts it out. Right? You get the idea. It cuts him in half there, and then cuts the ninja in half. Too many fucking blood first there. So they send him on a mission to go after these three assassins who are basically like minders. And you know what it reminds me of? You know what it reminds me of? Remember the film Big Trouble in Little China in China, where you had storm and thunder, and I think the other one was like wind or lightning. You had like the three characters with the hats, and they had them special powers. You know, Big Trouble in Little Chinatown, Big Trouble in Little China. You know, John Carpenter. They remind me of that. That this come out a lot more days before Big Trouble in Little China, but I think I've got a picture of them in the back. Be careful because it's a bit bloody here. But you've got a picture there of one with one of the man-made weapons. You've got to admit, don't that look like the villains out of that? And I always wondered if John Carpenter see this film about burping. Did he see this film and did he get inspired? But yeah, they've got one woman in it and she's trying to fight with our mate Long Wolf. But he gets the better of it. He doesn't kill her though. Doesn't kill her, but all the way through the film, they've got to see when they come out to harm his kid, but he gets the better. Slices a fucker in half. Definitely don't fuck around with my mate Long Wolf. Don't give a shit if you're a man, you're a woman, whatever. If you're going for him, you're a goner. So there's a lot of arms and legs getting cut off. It's definitely out of fire and it's definitely out of bloodthirster. You can definitely see that was a video nasty. There's a bit where he's on the ship and you've got the three villains, looks like the Masters of Death. That's what they call them, the Masters of Death. And you've got people trying to assassinate them, but they get the better. Really do some bit where the guy gets his eyeballs scalped. Definitely graphic, definitely bloodthirsty. And it's one of them which was the prequel with how he became Long Wolf. Was that the first story? And the one with the Masters of Death, is that the second story? Because I do know there was two movies, Blind to Death and was made into a film. Like I say, you got the woman that's trying to assassinate him and they jump off a ship because the ship's on fire. And you do get the Masters of Death and they say to him, right, we'll do you a deal, we won't go for you now, but if you meet up with us later on and you start, you're a goner. So basically they let Long Wolf know that they know who he is. Like I say, he meets a woman when they jump off the ship, and you got that idea, is he going to rape her? But lucky enough, he doesn't go that level, but you just think he's going to rape her because he rips her toes off. But there's nothing, you know, there's nothing sexual. He's trying to warm her because she's wet and it's stopping her from getting pneumonia. Kind of a sad scene because later on, because she works for Shogun, you got the idea, and the little lad, you got the voiceovers of the lad, you got the idea that she's going to have to do akitake or get killed an horrible death. I do love the shot though where he's in the desert and he's got to meet the Masters of Death. He does team up to fight them and I love it. It's out of blood there. There's a lot of blood and fire everywhere. I mean, I can't show you the back. The back, you'll see a little bit fast. The back there, you've got a bit of blood there. And there's a lot of blood. It was over the top blood. You know what I mean? It's really over the top. And it has me wondering whether, you know the film Kill Bill? Kill Bill. Has me wondering whether they saw this, because I know it was mentioned in Kill Bill Chapter 2, Volume 2. They just mentioned what's in this film, Shogun Assassin. It does mention it. But yeah, there's some bangers, someone's rossing up, it'll be tight in a minute. But yeah, so it just mention that because the blood, when people get their arms, their legs, and people get stabbed, the blood is really over the top blood. You know what I mean? Flying out everywhere. There's a beautiful scene where he slices a guy's head in half and the head splits open and you got blood strutting out like a fig in waterfall. Beautiful. Just beautiful. He kills all the Masters of Death and he walks off with his kid. You got the voiceover again. Then you got the music. And this is one thing, and I did mention this on the Long Club film. The music in this is brilliant. The music in this is brilliant. It's hard to explain, but it's like, you know, on keyboard and an analyzer. There's bits where it's cheapy in certain sections, and there's bits where it's really, really, really good music, you know what I mean? But the music is brilliant. It's hard to explain. I'd love, if I Would not get in trouble for copyright. I would love to play the music, but you know, copyright. But it's so it goes do 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 do, and every time he has a fight scene and he's fighting ninjas or he's fighting certain bad people, you would hear that music, you know, that do 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 do. But I love it. I love it. That Shogun Assassin. Love this film. A lot of action. If you like ninjas and sword fights and so on, it's a good hour of your time. Yep, it was a video nasty. Yep, it was banned in the early 80s. But this is the stoned, uncut version. I even love the artwork. Love it that much. What the hell? It's a classic for me. 10-star rating. That's Shogun Assassin back in 1980. Got banned into 83. Happy to say I've got the uncut version. Into then. I'll see you soon.